What's he doing?
The hell is that?
What's up, guys? It's your boy Mizzy, and I'm here today to do a movie review for the movie Jeepers Creepers. Man, this one right here, this is really special to my heart. So, Jeepers Creepers, it came out in 2001. It was I was around 9 or 10 around the time. Man, this was one of those movies. You know, it's certain movies that just burn into your brain. This is one of the ones when I was younger and watched it, I was just, it really would creep me out. One of the reasons because I'm from Alabama, but where I stayed at, you know how in the beginning of the movie, it's the long road. It just reminded me of home. I even looked up before doing this review where this was filmed at. It said an area in Florida. I can't remember which area, but man, it just reminded me of being in the country, long straight road, no gas stations, not many people, just isolated, and isolation is real scary. But anyways, man, the premise of this movie real simple. It's a brother, sister. The brother played by Justin Long, the sister Gina Phillips, like I say Darian Trish. So I love how the movie just kind of starts. It just shows them driving, then they come into the scene, and it's just a brother and sister kicking it. You know, it feels real natural. One thing about this movie that it does perfectly, it builds up that you care about the characters. Like I say, when at the end, what happens to Derek, you care about him. You know what happens to him because, like I said, you've been watching through the whole movie and you feel like you know these characters. But anyway, man, I remember, like I said, this movie was real creepy to me. And one of the early scenes in this movie that I really liked was one of the ones when you know when they was naming the license plates, but when they drive past the RV turns right. When they're driving, and then you see off in the distance, you see a truck coming up, but it's like blurry. You don't see it until it's all the way in focus of the camera, and then you know that's when the horn hit. If you're not paying attention, like I said, it would been a good jump scare. But anyways, like I said, you see the vehicle come in the picture, and then he's blowing the horn, hunts the horn, and then once he like I said, he's like they trying to let him pass, but he keeps blowing the horn. You know, Trish, she like, let him pass, Derek, let him pass, but he's like, I'm trying to. But anyways, once he goes past, then like I say, the progress a little more, they drive past, they see somebody, they see the same vehicle, but you really can't see the person who it is. He's covered up, like say he's like say, you know, his face, everything. He has like a long trench coat, so we can't see the figure at this moment. You know, you really at this moment you really don't have no reason to think this not none but a human. But anyways, we see somebody dumping bodies down this drain. Well, you assume they body. It's white sheet with blood wrapped around. But anyways, once they drive past, they try to get Derry's phone. Nobody, you know, answer. Well, no, I think his phone was either dead or they didn't get no service. But anyways, once he drives out again, at this moment, once he drives out, he rams them off the road. And then they started talking, Derek started telling Trish about going back, you know, man, what if that was you? This right here, I always tell people, because they always be like, man, horror movies, they always do stupid stuff. Man, they always, to progress the story, somebody has to do something stupid. That's the only way, because in real life, this movie would have been over real quickly. First of all, soon as you talking about, oh, we should have went back, what if that was you? Look, man, when we get somewhere, I will notify some authorities or somebody, and then they'll come back. But I'm not going back. But anyways, they go back. They're looking in the pipe and stuff, the drain. He gets in the drain. Trish holds his feet, and then he sees some rats or something, falls in there. And that was a great shot. And another thing, this budget for this movie was just $10 million, and they made around $59 million for worldwide for this movie, which was great because they didn't even have like they weren't able to be in every movie theater like a major movie. So that was like a biggest accomplishment. That's the reason we got Jeepers Creepers 2 and, you know, other ones further out. But anyways, when he falls in the drain, that was a great shot. You know how you see him falling back and then just kind of thud and hit the ground. But once we see Derek gets up, and once he starts looking in the you know, the area where the bodies were being done, he sees one body of a guy alive. Then eventually he see all the bodies that's on the ceiling and everywhere that's like stitched together and all this. And it was weird because if you really pay attention to it, like I rewatched it recently, the bodies, because when he goes to when they go to that diner and get in touch with the authorities, and you know the authorities say, well, that was 20 years ago. He like somehow he preserving the bodies. I guess maybe he was doing like, I don't know if it was wax or what it was, but if you look at the bodies, it is, once I rewatched it now, it makes me think that it was like wax or something, like he's doing whatever the creeper was doing to preserve the bodies. But anyway, like I said, once they're at the diner and get in touch, you know, with the authorities, and the police, I swear one thing with horror movies never fail, the police will never be no help. Police don't last no time in horror movies. If they do last, they're no good. I swear, like, it's so rare that a police officer is doing any good, like from Texas Chainsaw Massacre to, man, just look at any movie. If the sheriff of the town is still there, he ain't up to no good. But anyways, when the officers and stuff, they leave to go back to see what Derek was talking about, the creeper jumps on the car. And then this was another one of my favorite scenes, because when they're driving their vehicle, they don't see that the police, you know, behind them. The creeper lands on the car, snatches the woman out, and then I don't know if he cut into the ceiling or, you know, reached into the ceiling, but he chops the guy head off. The head flies, hit their car, and then, like I say, they swerve off the road. Me, I would have kept driving. Like I said, it's a lot of times in the movie it would have been over. But anyways, when they get out, see the creeper and everything, and then you, like I said, this was another scene that was real crazy. He gets the head and then he bites the tongue to, like he's ripping the tongue out of the body. At this moment, we don't know that he's getting specific body parts. You know, we only see now, like, wait a minute, okay, now it's a creature, it's a monster. And that's one of the best things this movie did, because like I said, early in the movie, you didn't know what it was. You didn't know it was a monster. And I always say the best monster movies is the ones they don't show the monster too early. It's they build it up. You kind of, you know, you get sneak peeks. You start to see like little glimpses. You like, wait a minute, what is this? Could it be a monster? Could it be, you know, you never know exactly what it is. But like I said, when you eventually see it, you just like, wait, what the hell? But when they leave, another scene I want to speak on, when they get to the house with the lady with the cats, that was, man, that, like I said, not to have a huge budget, this movie was well directed. And like I said, and I do know about the director and all that. I don't want to speak on that because we just going to keep it on the project and the topic at hand. But when they get to the lady house with the cats, that was such a great scene when the creeper is holding her and walking out. But this just shows that the director is showing how strong he is, because to hold somebody's body and be able to walk forward like that, you gotta have like unworldly strength. Like I say, even the strongest people, like I say, I go work out to the gym and stuff, man, that would be extremely hard trying to hold somebody like that. But anyways, then like I said, and then it's always something creepy about somebody that just got a bunch of cats too. Anybody who, like, if it was a bunch of dogs, it wouldn't have been as creepy. But if for some reason when somebody just have a bunch of cats, like old cat lady, it's just creepy. But anyways, like I say, and then when you get to the another one of the major keys of the movie, when they was at the diner, they got a call from this woman who we come to find out she's a psychic. And this the only part of the movie that was a little, I get, like I say, it was a little weird to me, because she really didn't, she told them stuff, but she didn't save them. And she kept saying that she wouldn't be able to save them. So at this point, I'm like, well, why even come here? Like, why you even showed up? Because you're saying you can't change what's gonna happen. You can't change the fate of reality, what's gonna happen. But anyways, when they're finally at the the climax of the movie and they're at the police station, it was like this is the part where I think the director probably spent a lot of money, because this is what the most action of the movie, really. Everything else has been kind of building up, but now we see at this point of the movie, we get one of the great scenes. I love the scene when he's crawling on the wall and he kind of looks, he looks over the wall, and then, like I said, it's just a great, like I said, it's subtle stuff that just makes you real creeped out. And like I said, when I was 9 or 10, at this point, I was just like, I'm probably was watching the movie with the cover or something like over my eyes. But anyway, when it gets to this is when you finally see the full creeper, because Tess and wait, did I say Tess? Trish and they're in the behind the police window, the two-way window. They're in there, and when the creeper busts out, he grabs both of them, and as he's got both of them smelling them, licking them, and he's trying to see which one. I'm guessing since they was together the whole time in the movie, he's trying to see which one the smell he was looking for. Because we come to find out from the psychic that he only picks people not because he's like a killer, just a monster to just killing people just to be killing them. That's what made it so interesting, because he was getting people practically harvesting their organs, because they're parts of his body he needed to replace ones on him that was going bad. At this moment, like I say, especially watching it back, you see when he smells Derry, he's smelling his eyes. Then he grabs him. The police, I guess, kind of froze. If you really watch it back, they could have shot him, but I still don't feel like they probably could have killed him. But once he flies out the window, you get a scene that, like, this is a scene, like, ever since I was younger, I would just never forget this scene. At the end, they're playing the Jeepers Creepers, theme music. And once it goes in, and then all of a sudden you see Derry, like, eyes just, it's like his body, like, just standing up and his eyes are burnt out. And then all of a sudden you just see the creeper come from behind. And his eyes are now Derry eyes. And the interesting part, they said that that actually was there, and he put the creeper makeup and stuff on, so it would be actually his eye. Just there's just an interesting part for the director. Like, this showed he was like really attention to detail with the movie. But anyways, guys, this was one of my, like I said, one of my favorite childhood movies. I love Jeepers Creepers. It's a movie I anytime I see it on, I'll watch it. But anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate the love. Like I said, and for the rest of the month, it will be a horror movie review dropping every day. So every day, come and check me out. And I appreciate everything. Like I said, man, if anybody wants throw in some suggestions on any further reviews they would like to see me do, even outside of horror reviews, like I say, let me know. And I will be getting a camera soon and getting a setup. So, like I say, not be doing reactions and stuff like that. But like I say, man, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I catch y'all next time.